Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a truly fascinating and, let's be honest, incredibly timely topic, the complex landscape of AI governance. We're looking at some brilliant source material that tackles a fundamental debate happening literally everywhere right now, in tech hubs, in government halls, and probably around your own dinner table. We all know artificial intelligence is completely changing our world, but how on earth do we actually control it? Well, the immediate answer we hear thrown around everywhere is ethics. But as we dig into this material, relying on ethics alone presents a really fascinating and, frankly, kind of dangerous set of challenges. So, is being ethical enough to control AI? That's the core conflict we have to wrestle with today. You know, it's super tempting to think that if we just rely on good intentions, if we just tell the developers to, hey, do the right thing, everything's going to work out perfectly. We really want to believe that a strong moral compass is the only tool we need to manage artificial intelligence. But we seriously need to ask ourselves if that approach is actually robust enough to govern a technology that is fundamentally rewriting how our entire society operates. Section 1. The AI ethics trend and why ethics must lead technology. There's just no denying the rapid evolution of AI or the incredibly loud societal demand for its ethical use. Right now, we're living in the era of Step 1. Generative AI, where machines are creating new content just from our basic prompts. But our source material is quick to remind us that this is only the beginning, whether it's agentic AI that's actually taking actions on our behalf or reasoning AI that mimics deep human logic, the underlying anxiety we all feel remains exactly the same. As the tech gets smarter and more capable, the demand for solid ethical guardrails becomes absolutely crucial. Ethics definitely must play a leading role in tech, business, and daily life. I mean, nobody actively sets out to build a malicious AI, right? Everyday citizens demand ethical AI, scholars are advocating for it constantly, and the companies building these massive engines are prioritizing it. Giving ethics a leading role is absolutely vital. It's the bedrock. But as we're about to explore, a foundation isn't an entire house. Section 2. Why ethics aren't enough. We're looking at the problem with personal viewpoints. And here's where we pivot. By definition, personal ethics are an approach and understanding of life, relations, and nature that is completely unique to everyone, yet still valid. Think about what that actually means in the real world. A developer sitting in Silicon Valley and a citizen living halfway across the globe might have entirely different views on something like data privacy or how a self-driving car should make a split-second decision. And the really tricky part? Both of those perspectives are perfectly valid within their own worldview. This inherent subjectivity is exactly what makes relying only on ethics so incredibly messy. Which leads us straight to this wildly powerful quote from the source. Who is entitled to actually say which ethics are valid and which ones are not? I want you to just pause and really ponder that for a second. If ethics are deeply, deeply personal, who becomes the ultimate judge? If we rely solely on an ethical approach to govern AI, we're basically forced into deciding whose ethics win out over everyone else's. So who gets to reject my worldview? Or your ethical approach to life, relations, and nature? The logical answer is that no one should have that kind of absolute power. No single group, no massive tech company, and no individual is universally entitled to invalidate another person's ethical approach. And this right here is exactly why the ethics-only approach to AI governance hits a massive brick wall. We absolutely need something else to bridge the gap between all our valid yet totally conflicting personal worldviews. Section 3. The need for regulation. It's all about finding our common ground. If ethics are simply too personal to rule all on their own, we have to introduce regulation. Look, AI impacts vastly different players. We're talking different sectors, clusters, highly specific target groups, roles, and functions. The source actually uses a brilliant analogy here, calling these the different characters in this complex AI movie we're all starring in. Regulation? Well, regulation is the script that helps all these characters actually interact. It's the mechanism that makes societal relations work by establishing a baseline understanding between all these diverse, fast-moving parts. And here is why this matters so much. Regulation provides a common ground to move together and a reasonable way to work and live. You know, getting two people to agree on a pizza topping is hard enough, let alone getting the whole world to agree on global AI governance. Think of it this way. If ethics are your personal, internal compass, then regulation is the shared external map. Without that map, without that regulatory common ground, we simply cannot reasonably exist alongside AI as a cohesive society. We just be a chaotic clash of differing personal morals. Section 4, combining ethics and regulation. This is the winning formula for AI. So the crucial point here is that we don't have to choose between one or the other. In fact, we shouldn't. As this brilliantly illustrates, on the left, we've got intrinsic ethics, your personal, highly subjective compass. On the right, we have regulation, the common, shared agreement between peers. Governing a technology as staggeringly complex as AI requires a really seamless synthesis of both sides. Integrating the absolute best of both these worlds is what creates a sustainable hybrid approach for all of us. Intrinsic ethics maintain our deeply held personal values. They're what keep us human. But common regulation, that creates functional relations. It allows us to interact, build, and innovate without tearing each other apart over our philosophical differences. When we successfully combine our personal ethics with peer regulation, we essentially unlock three massive pillars: a future that is reasonable, sustainable, and productive for everyone. By taking that internal moral drive and combining it with external, agreed-upon rules, we're creating a society that doesn't just survive this crazy age of AI, but actually thrives in it. The source material leaves us with this wonderful, vivid concept: building a shared playground for everyone's standpoints. I really want you to visualize that for a second. The author is challenging us to work hard to find that agreement. Your specific, totally unique viewpoint actually requires this societal agreement, this shared playground, in order to exist peacefully alongside viewpoints that might be the exact opposite of yours. Regulation is what builds the fences and draws the lines of the playground so that our personal ethics can safely and creatively play inside it. Which leaves us with one final, provocative thought to wrap up our explainer today. How will your personal ethics shape our shared AI playground? We literally all have a role to play in tech governance. We have to bring our personal morals to the table, absolutely. But we also have to remain willing to forge the common regulations necessary to make the whole shebang work. So take a moment to think about your own ethical approach to technology today and ask yourself how you can help build that common ground. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep exploring.